Good evening, Facebook friends. How are we doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you're well on a Sunday. I'm not going to wait for people to join live tonight. I hope that you've all got something much better to do than listen to me on a Sunday night. But I wanted to do... Actually, I didn't want to really do this live, but it'll all come out in what I'm going to talk about. The title of this live is I Don't Have Time. Right, and I'm going to get into that. I'm going to share a little bit of a story on the front end first, right? But it's for if you ever wished there was more hours in the day, right, or days in the week, or all of a sudden it's the 27th of September and you're like, where has this year gone? Right, even though we've had less to do this year, probably than any year for a long time, the year's still got away from you. If you're one of those people that doesn't seem to find the time to do the things that you would love to do to progress your life, then there might be something in here that will help you, right? I'm no expert on the subject. I'm not an expert on anything, to be honest, but I'm going to share a few ideas that have helped me, right? When I think back to who I was, how I ran my life, or more importantly, probably how my life ran me just a few years ago, and the life that I hadn't created for myself and the issues that I had in my life, and then to now some of the habits that I have in my life today, thanks entirely to the books I've read and the mentors I've had and the training and guidance that I've had from others. Nothing in here is my stuff, to be honest. I'm just sharing other people's stuff, but just trying to pay it forward, you know. So I'll get on to all of that in a minute. I've got 5 top tips on, how to plan your life a little bit better so you have more time to do the things that are really going to have a positive effect on your life. But before I get there, I want to explain to you how I got to doing this video, right? Because I don't do any live videos on my public profile, is the truth, right? If you're part of our Herbalife team, you know that I do lots of this stuff in our closed groups. It's my comfortable place. I know you, I'm comfortable with the subject, but publicly I don't do stuff like this. So this evening was just putting Rocket down to bed. He's fallen asleep on me, and I start thinking about, my Sunday night, okay, my Sunday rituals that have been my rituals now for quite a while. I sit down on a Sunday night and I think about the week ahead, right? And I write some lists and some goals and all the rest of it. Something that I was taught or read about a long time ago, and it made a real difference to my life. So I was thinking about that, and then my mind does what my mind tends to do. It starts going off in different ways, and I thought, I should really do a live about this for my Herbalife team. So then I started thinking, all right, I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. And then one of my one of my goals, my personal goals at the moment, is to, prompted by my wife, Lauren, was to do some more public Facebook lives, right? She said you should really do more and put it out there a bit more. And so I thought, right, well, if I was going to do it for my team, I may as well do it for everyone. It's scary, right? Some of you who maybe know me in Herbalife might not think that I find things particularly scary, or that I don't get nervous about speaking in public. I really do. I have the same what do you call it? By putting yourself out there, you allow yourself to be judged, right? And there's 63 people watching right now, and I don't know how many people will watch this, and I'm scared about what you will think, but part of my personal development, my personal growth, is to put myself out there a bit more, to be judged, right? And doing this isn't for the attention, although I completely appreciate that by doing this I get attention, right? So it's not for the attention, it's just about for my personal growth and really trying to pay forward some of the things that I've been taught over the years that have had a massive positive impact on my life. So hopefully there'll be some value in this for you too, right? When I think back to 10 years ago, if somebody said to me, or I said to myself, have you got 10 hours a week that you can put into, for me it was to put into doing Herbalife, right? Or a side hustle or a business opportunity. I'd be like, are you kidding? 10 hours a week? I haven't got 10 minutes a week to put into something. And I would reel off all of these excuses. I'd be like, you realise I've got a full-time job, right? And I commute, by the way. I've got a long commute, London to South Wales. And, you know, I do this on a Tuesday night, and, you know, Big Brother's on at the moment. And, you know, I'm in a pub on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You know, and I would very quickly explain to you how I wouldn't have time to do something that would fundamentally have a really positive impact on my life, but that's who I was, and that's the way I was back then. I think it's the way a lot of people are, you know, particularly if you have a full-time job and you have kids and you have, you know, maybe you have people that depend on you and all the rest of it. And it means that the things that we would love to do, right, whether it's a hobby or, you know, let me ask you, right, how many of you would love to learn another language if you had time? Right, I love the Spanish language, and I'm okay at Spanish, but I would love to be really good at Spanish, right? So a lot of people would love to learn a second language, right? But they just never find the time. It never becomes a priority. Maybe there's things around the house that you need to do, DIY, right? Today, I put a toilet seat on the downstairs toilet, right? It's been sitting there for a week, right? And today I found the time to do it, right? Maybe you want to spend more time with your kids, right? Maybe there is a side hustle, little business you'd like to get off the ground. A lot of you are going to be in Herbalife, right? How would it be if you had more time, more focused time to put into your Herbalife business? Would you get better results, right? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, right? Would you like more time to read, personal development? It's one of the things I've really focused on this month, and I'll cover it in my 5 points. I know that I am a calmer, more organised, more thoughtful, more productive person when I put time aside each day to sit and read or sit and listen to something that makes me a better person, right? And so maybe for you, you know you'd love to do more personal development, but you haven't got the time, right? Maybe it's working out, maybe it's the gym. Right, it's a big one for me too. I know I should go to the gym more. I know I should work out more, and I tell myself I don't have the time. Right, the truth is it just never reaches the top of priorities because I put other things in front of it. Okay, again, something that I want to change in the months coming forward as I approach. You know, as my birthday just last week turned 39. Okay, next year I'm turning 40. Right, we've got a little boy who's going to be 1 year old in a month from now, right? And I'm going to be like, right, I'm a 40-year-old dad. I got to stay fit. I got to stay healthy. I want to be everything I can be for him, and so therefore taking care of myself, prioritizing time for me to work out, be active, is becoming higher up my priority list for him. Right? They say, right, when the why is strong enough, the how is easy, right? Well, now the why is becoming stronger about my own health and fitness. Right? I'm healthy, don't get me wrong, right? But am I as fit as I once was? No. Am I as lean and as fit as I should be? No, right? So that's becoming one for me as well. And so I'm just kind of rambling in the hope that one of these things, you might go, yeah, I wanted to learn a language, right? Or, yeah, I've got to fix the toilet seat, right? Or, yeah, I would love to read one of those books that are collecting dust on the shelf that I buy every time I go to an event but I never read, right? Or the audibles that you're paying for on a monthly basis that you don't read, right? Maybe hit that little like button if you can relate to any of these, I don't know, right? But so we all have these things we want to do, right? And as the title of this is, I don't have time. And I've been taught things over the years that have really helped me, and I'll share them with you now. There's 5 things. Hopefully there'll be some value in this for you. Number 1 is making lists, right? I would go to the point of saying I'm a little bit obsessive about making lists. These days I try and every night before I go to bed I try and make a to-do list for the next day. What I've learned about myself is that if I go to bed without making a list, then that stuff sits in my head and I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about it, right? And what I used to do, maybe some of you can relate to this, is to kind of to silence the chatter in my head thinking about what I'm going to be doing the next day. I'd put the TV on in bed or Netflix on in bed, because by watching that, it quietened the voice in my head talking about what I should be doing tomorrow, and I was just kind of numbing the chatter with more incessant chatter, right? And so what I realised was that if I sat down with a pen and paper, or you can do it on your phone as well, and got the stuff out of my head, I then didn't need to put Netflix on in order to fall asleep watching something, and therefore I got a better night's sleep, so I woke up better the next morning with a list to go and do, so I jumped out of bed quicker. And it's just a poxy list, right? But trying to write a list every night, do I do it every single night? No, I don't, right? I still have things to work on there, but I know when I've made a list, I'm better, right? The whole reason for doing this video is that Sunday nights I am pretty good. Sunday night I put time aside to make lists for the week ahead, right? What are the things I've got to do? So every night, a few minutes, every Sunday, maybe half an hour writing some lists. This is the last Sunday of the month, so traditionally for me, this would be about not only writing to-do lists for the week ahead, but also thinking about some goals for the month ahead, right? And of course, in Herbalife, there'll be business goals, right? New customers, new members, team goals, all of those things will go on the list or in the targets. Having goals and targets, and whether that's reading a few pages of your book tomorrow, right? Because personal development is something that you want to get better at, you want to find time for, but you haven't yet. Okay, so you go, right, tomorrow I'm going to read 5 pages of my book, right? It's a start, right? And a start is better than nothing. You might want to, and I needed to in the early days, you might want to set an alarm on your phone that goes off at 9 o'clock every night or 10 o'clock every night, whenever's good for you, that reminds you, make your lists, right? Because until it becomes a habit, you're going to need the reminder, right? So you might want to make a reminder on your phone of your lists. And then the other benefit of lists, right? One, you clear your head before you go to bed. Secondly, when you open your eyes in the morning, you have a reason to get up, right? You're less likely to mindlessly, right? And I'm only talking for myself, I'm not judging you, I'm judging me, right? Mindlessly reach for your phone, start scrolling, one eye open scrolling, just in case anything's happened while you've been asleep, right? And before you know it, you've gone from sleep to being awake sleep, scrolling through the nothing that's happened on your phone, right? You wake up and you've got a to-do list to do, you get up and you get on with your list. That's the second thing about benefit of making a list. The third thing is the satisfaction you get from crossing it out as you do it, crossing it out, however you do it. I love giving it one of those on the list as I go, right? I get to the end of the day. Do you ever have those days where you feel like you've worked really hard but got nothing done? The truth is you probably did get a lot done, right? But because you've got nothing physically to show you, done that, didn't do that, done that, didn't do that, did that, right? Then if you get to the end of the day, you look at that, you go, I did get a lot done today, right? Your personal sense of satisfaction, of self-worth, of confidence, of fulfillment goes through the roof if you just give yourself the gift of making a list and crossing things off, right? Some of the hearts are coming up, right? Because some of you guys do this, or you're just going, wow, I should do that. Right, so number 1 of the 5 things is make some lists. Every night, 5 minutes. Every week, half an hour. Once a month, put some dedicated time into making some to-do lists, some goals for the day, for the week, for the month, right? And see if it helps you, right? Number 2, once you've got your list, right, is first things first, right? Or eat that frog. They're 2 very different things, right? First things first comes from Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he also has just a separate book called First Things First, right? And it's all about doing the things that are going to make the biggest difference first, right? Not always the easiest things, right? Eat that frog, which I always give credit to my sponsor in Herbalife and mentor, Jane Clark. I remember when she trained on this for the first time, it was just like a light bulb went off in my head. Right, we all have those things that we know we got to do, but we put off. Right, and the easiest thing to relate to is paying bills. Right, if you're the type of person like I was, right, that had a pile of unopened letters, right? Because you didn't want to open it, because you didn't want to deal with it. You know, maybe you didn't have the money in the bank, so you didn't want to open it because you know you can't pay it, right? One of those things, you put it off, right? I mentioned it earlier, right? The toilet seat in our down. Lauren's gonna hate me talking about that, right? But the toilet seat in our downstairs toilet, it's been there for a week, right? It was one of those. It's so easy to do, but I hadn't done it, right? Because it was one of those eat that frog. Right, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and Google the book Eat That Frog. Very simply, it's about doing the thing that you don't want to do most first. Right? Because if you just get it done and just get it out the way, it doesn't hang over you for the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year. Right? And it might be a job around the house. It might be dealing with a financial situation, right? It might be making a call to that person that you've been putting off, right? I don't know what it is. You know what it is already, by the way. You're already thinking about it, I'd imagine. So first things first, right? Do the thing you don't want to do first. Do the thing that's going to make the biggest difference first, rather than doing the easy things first. Right? It will make a difference to how effective you are. You can cross it off early in the day and get great satisfaction from that. And then, by the way, if you've got nothing else done for the rest of the day, you've got that one thing done. It'll make a difference, right? Well, listen, I don't know if it'll make a difference for you. It made a difference for me, right? I'm only sharing what my experience with this stuff, right? So, number one, make your list. Number two, first things first, or eat that frog. Number three, listen, this is not an instruction. It's a suggestion based on personal experience. Number three, get up earlier. Right, we are 27 days into the 5 a.m. club. Right, we decided for September, myself and some of my friends, that we were going to get up and get on a Zoom at 5 a.m. every morning. We're going to listen to something positive. We're going to, you know, make sure that our to-do lists are done. Maybe we're going to get our workout out the way. Maybe we're going to do some meditation. Maybe we're going to read. Maybe we're going to, whatever we're going to do, right? But we made a commitment to getting up, or not getting up, but being on a call 5 a.m. every morning. There's, if you want to study this subject, then the book is called The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And for total disclosure and honesty, because I don't know how else to be, you know, I've heard about the 5 a.m. Club for a long time, right? It's a famous book. He's a famous author. I know lots of people who swear by it, right? And for a long time, I was one of those people that was of the opinion that I didn't need to get up at 5 a.m. to be successful, right? Not that I am successful, but I didn't need to get up at 5 a.m. to prove the point that I was better than other people and I can get up early and all the rest of it. But partly because I got a 10-month-old and I was up anyway. Total disclosure. I was like, getting up at 5 a.m. isn't such a bad thing, right? But I wanted at the end of this year to set up next year. So I knew I had to do some things differently. With a 10-month-old, our days aren't our own, right? He could get up at any time. He may nap, he may not nap, but you can lose days with a 10-month-old, right? And so I had to do something different that I'd never done before, and it was the 5 a.m. club. And I got to tell you, 27 days in, it's a revelation for me, getting up at 5 a.m. And don't get me wrong, the first 10 days, 12 days were tough. I wasn't used to, and I questioned why on earth am I doing this, right? Got a lovely house, lovely bed, lovely wife in the bed next to me, right? Baby sleeping. Why on earth am I getting up? Crazy, right? But because we'd made a commitment as a little group of friends to do it, I had to get up for them, right? And they had to get up for me, right? It's a little clue for you there. You might want to not do it alone. And the first 10, 12 days were tough. Right? I couldn't quite get my head around it. I was tired. All I wanted to do after 5 a.m. club was go back to bed, right? But we had two rules after 5 a.m. club: no sleep, no social, right? No social media for that first hour and a half in the morning. Do stuff productive. Don't get lost in the scrolling, right? So no sleep, no social. And since day 10 or 12, do you know what? I wake up at 4:30 before my alarm goes off. I wake up and I get up, my feet hit the floor, I go, thank you. Again, I don't know who teaches that, what book that came from, but you know when your right foot and your left foot goes on the floor, you go, thank you, right? Thank you, I woke up. Thank you for another day. Thank you for the energy to go and attack this day and get after whatever I want to get after in my life. And it's been a revelation for me. I now truly, there's been days in the last 27 days where I've got more done before 9 o'clock in the morning than I'd usually get done before 9 o'clock at night. It's a revelation for me, and I'm only sharing it because I was one of those people that kind of poo-pooed the idea. I think that's mental, right? I don't get up at 5 a.m. unless I'm going on holiday, right? Or 5 a.m., that's usually when I'm getting home, right? I was that person. And now I've experienced it. As a little group of friends, we were committed to doing it for the month of September. After about 15 days, we was all experiencing the same breakthroughs, and we've all decided we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this, not for another month, but we're just going to keep doing it. It's who we are. It's what we do now, and that is testimonial enough for me that I'm confident enough to share it with all of you, just as a suggestion. Right? Like I said, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm an amateur, but it's made a difference to me. It might make a difference to you too, right? I can see some of the 5 a.m. club friends liking this and all the rest of it. They know now, right? For the first 10 days, they were probably like, what on earth has Matt got us involved in? Right now, it's making a difference for them like it makes a difference for me. And maybe it'll make a difference for you too, right? If nothing else, maybe go listen to the audio or buy the book 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. It's a very easy book to read and listen to. It's actually just a story that he tells with a few characters in it, and it's powerful, right? So get up earlier. Maybe don't start at 5 a.m, right? Maybe start a little bit later, but whatever's good for you. So that was number 3, right? Number 1, make your list. Number 2, first things first. Number 3, get up earlier, right? Number 4 is study the subject, right? Study the subject of time management, of being more productive, of procrastinating less, right? I've said it a bunch of times, but listen, I'm only sharing what I've learned from books and other people who are better on this stuff than me, right? If you just go on Google and type in tips for time management, right, or tips for getting stuff done, or tips for chasing your dreams, right, there's tons of stuff out there, and if you become a student of having more time, you'll have more time, right? And all of these things that you would like to do with your life, you'd like to be better at, you would create time for, because nobody has spare time. Right? There's no such thing. We always fill our time up with whatever we can, right? But you could make time, you could create time if you maybe do a few of these things. So don't let, if you got value from this, right, don't let this be the only thing you ever listen to on time management, right? Go and study the subject. Jim Rohn's got amazing stuff on it. I mean, there's so many things, right? Just go and find the experts on this stuff and get better at it. And number 5 is, it says, trust the process, right? Patience. If now, tonight, you go, that makes sense, I'm going to make a list tonight, right? And tomorrow you tick things off your list, right? It's unlikely by the end of tomorrow night that all of the issues in your life is going to be solved, right? It's going to take more than a day, right, of making lists and ticking things off. It'll take more than a week. It might take more than a month. Right? It's going to take you a little while just to get in the habit. Set your alarm, the alarm goes off, make your list, and I can't be bothered to make my list tonight. That's when you've got to be strong with yourself, right? That's when you've got to be disciplined enough to turn this quirky idea of making lists every night, having the fulfillment of crossing them off every day. You've got to be committed enough, disciplined enough to turn it from a quirky idea to a habit, right? Because then if you do it every day or every evening, every week, every month, that's when I believe that you can experience the true benefits of it, just like I have. So that's it. They're the 5 things. Make your lists. Okay. First things first. Get up earlier. Study the subject, and trust the process. Have patience with it. Don't expect to fix all your problems in one night. I hope there was some value in some of that. Right? I don't know whether there was or not. I'm just sharing from the heart. I'm sharing from experience, and I'm just trying to pay forward some of the incredible advice that I've gathered and been privileged to have shared with me over the years, in the hope that it will help you too. Right? If you've liked it, then great. Give me some positive feedback, and maybe I'll do some more of these on different stuff. If you didn't like it, great. give me some negative feedback, and I'll probably do some more of these anyway. Right? Because this was as much for me getting uncomfortable and putting myself out there as it was for you. If you got some value, great. I already feel like I've grown just by doing this first one. So I really appreciate it. If you got this far, thank you so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic and productive, fulfilling week ahead. And I wish you all the best in whatever it is you're doing with your life. Thanks so much for your time. I'll see you all soon, guys. Bye-bye.